what I was thinking about the other day? I remember going for a consultation to get my buccal fat removed.
You went for the buccal fat removal procedure?
Because don't you remember that was like a really big thing a couple years ago? Everyone was getting their buccal fat removal just taken out to look like chiseled in that sucked up look. That's a good look. I thought it was a good look. I was really about to do that.
It was definitely very trendy at some point in time.
Yes.
And we'll be talking a lot more about trendy things in the cosmetic world that kind of see where they are now. Are they still going, or have they kind of disappeared?
Treatments that really had their 5 minutes of shine, and where are they currently now?
Perfect. And if you guys are joining us for the first time, this is Dr. Abraham. This is A Sip of Aesthetics, and today we're here with Annabelle.
Hello.
Who's been with us a few times already, so welcome back.
You keep inviting me back. Thank you. I like being here.
We like having you. So yeah, that is definitely buccal fat removal. For people who don't know what the procedure about, but it's basically a small surgical procedure where that buccal fat, or that kind of fat in the mid-lower cheek area, is removed surgically. And the reason people would do it is to kind of, the idea is meant to give a little bit of a more chiseled look.
Slim the face?
Slim the face.
I have a round face, so I was all about the slimming of the face.
Yeah. It was trendy at some point, but I was never a fan of that procedure for most people. I think we've talked a little bit about that before. And it's one of these treatments that I think people have realized it's really not for everyone.
I'm actually so happy that everyone was telling me not to do it, because I was really gung-ho in the moment. And now I feel like a lot of people that did it are feeling a little regretful of doing that, because once you remove it, there's really no going back.
And part of the problem with aging is, when we start to get that kind of, our fat changes its position, and there are some areas where if you don't have as much volume there, it can make you look a little bit older. So
for sure.
That's a problem with that procedure, is that sometimes it looks really good, in the moment, but afterward, as you start, as you get a little bit older and that area gets deeper and deeper, it can look like it can give that kind of, not as
skeleton-like, if you will.
Exactly.
Not as flattering.
So why were you interested in it? What made you kind of want to do it?
Because I have a round face. I know this is a podcast, but if you can see a video of me, I have a very round face. So I wanted to kind of look more, I don't know. I feel like sometimes too, because I have such a round face, people think that I look maybe younger, which why would I want to age myself? But I didn't want to. I wanted to look more, I don't know, sophisticated, older.
So was it like social media that you were seeing that procedure and made you kind of like, oh, this is for me?
And a lot of actresses were doing it too.
Yeah.
A ton, and either way, not a good idea. Something that was super trendy. I think people were even doing Kybella for a moment, like in that area as well, but that's a whole different topic.
It is, and it's still done a little bit right now, buccal fat removal, but definitely not as much as it was happening before
in previous years.
And Kybella actually, is actually a little bit different, because sometimes people will do it like right where the jowls are. So again, you have to be the right person for it, and that can work because you're removing where the area is heavier, especially for somebody where their fat already kind of migrated down.
But you have to be like the perfect candidate, because you have to be young with supple skin, because you don't want laxity there. But for a moment, buccal fat removal was all the rage.
Yeah.
Which brings me to the next treatment. Since we're on the topic, maybe we should just chat about things that have.
I can think of a few. I mean, plasma pen was really popular for a good period of time.
For a few years too.
Yeah, I think actually plasma pen wasn't a bad treatment. So I think.
Did you like it?
I liked it. I can see why it's not as popular anymore, because I do think that there are alternatives. So the problem with plasma pen, and plasma pen is that treatment, for those who don't know, where it's literally like a plant that shoots kind of like a plasma arc, if you will, and it kind of creates this mini burn in the skin, and it's used to help tighten the skin and create collagen.
Okay.
I think I don't think that it's necessarily that the treatment didn't work, but there's a significant amount of downtime with it, and I do think there are alternatives now where you can get skin
Similar
tightening
results,
and stuff without the
less
downtime that plasma pen used to get. So
I never used plasma pen.
Yeah.
That was before I started working here that we were
yeah.
really doing that. So I haven't really dabbled with it myself.
It was plasma pen was kind of this procedure that almost didn't exist, as in like no one knew about it, and then it just kind of exploded out of
Blew up
nowhere,
overnight.
and then like kind of like went down very
When's the
aggressively.
last time you can remember actually doing a plasma pen treatment?
I mean, so I still do it every once in a while because we have clients who've like, you know, done it before
Okay.
and really liked it. And even though again there are still some alternatives right now that, you know, might be better, you still have a couple clients who are like, you know what, the lasers don't work as much for me, but the plasma pen really worked. You know, can I just do it again?
So they're grandfathered in essentially to the plasma pen.
Yeah, no, yeah, in a sense, definitely not as
You're
much.
not recommending it as often as you once were beforehand.
Not really. Not well. Not for. Not really. Not for new clients. And again, most of the clients who are still doing it are probably, you know, some clients who've done it before. Again, it's not a bad treatment. It's just with the downtime that it has.
Yeah.
There's definitely other alternatives that have less downtime. And the thing with Plasma Pen 2 is it can be painful. And I mean, to do the whole face, considering how much downtime there is, like a lot of times you would just kind of focus on one area.
Yeah.
Because
I
if
saw a lot of under eyes. Like that's what I would
Yeah.
see on social media. People using the plasma pen for their under eyes specifically.
very popular areas, and you know, eyelids is a popular area, but like I know sometimes you do the whole face and you can, but then to do the whole face you kind of have to go a little bit lighter in a sense, because like when you do a small area you can go pretty aggressive, and that's where you see good results.
Got it.
And that, but the downtime is, you know, significant because you get these little scabs that then fall off, and you have to be super careful with the sun. Now, when I've seen people do the whole face, if you do it with the same intensity as you do a small area where the whole face is going to be scabbing off, like that's usually when people do the whole face, they do it a lot less
That
intensely.
kind of sounds
so that
like
you
a
don't
sun
get anything.
nightmare to have little scabs all over your face.
Yeah, you have to be very careful with it. And then if you start, you're not supposed to pick out the scabs, you know, because if you pick at them, they can leave these little scars in the skin and stuff. So there is potential
Instead
for
of plasma pen, I
complications.
think CO2 laser maybe.
CO2 laser is very good at like tightening the skin and rebuilding
I
collagen.
love
So yeah, it's
CO2
one of
laser.
the treatments that I think people do much more often
Yeah.
than plasma pen now. Yeah.
Let's see what else had its. Oh, actually, how can we not talk about Morpheus 8? Morpheus 8, I feel like was so big a few years ago. I remember helping the front desk girls out, and people would call constantly asking, "Do you guys have Morpheus? Do you guys have Morpheus? I really want to do Morpheus."
Yeah.
And now I feel like the buzz isn't as loud as it was before.
Yeah, I think Morpheus A also, yeah, one of these treatments definitely got very popular. Again, not a bad treatment at all. I do think there are alternatives right now that I do prefer.
Over them, yes.
And
Why is that? Why do you think that the alternative? Because Morpheus 8 is a radio frequency microneedling device.
Exactly.
There's actually a lot of radio frequency microneedling devices on the market, but just a different company essentially. Why do
Exactly.
you think Morpheus isn't always the better option out of the?
I think it
brands
has
that
to
there
do
are?
with, the downtime, the intensity level, and the results are the three things that you always want to look at.
Yeah.
So again, Morpheus A is really not a bad machine, but as you mentioned, the actual treatment itself is radio frequency microneedling, RF microneedling. It's definitely not the only one. I would say it was one of the original ones that
Yes.
got really popular, and that's why a lot of people are familiar with the name, and they did a really good job with their marketing in terms of getting that name out there.
Oh, for sure.
So-
They were literally everywhere. Like I'm
Yeah.
not even joking. When I first started working here, I feel like that's like I would have that conversation multiple times a day with patients,
Yeah.
asking about Morpheus for the body, for the face, for the neck. They wanted to use Morpheus everywhere. The
Everywhere.
eyelids, yeah.
Yeah. And I still think radiofrequency microneedling is a really good treatment, really good procedure for a lot of people. So I still recommend the radiofrequency microneedling. Again, not necessarily specifically the Morpheus 8 per se. There are other, companies
yeah.
or lasers out there that do, or machines, I should say, out
We
there
use
that do RF
we use
microneedling.
Scarlett here at New Med Spa.
I love Scarlett.
We love Scarlett.
Scarlett is my favorite.
She's
And there
our
are
bestie.
other ones though.
Yeah, there
There's
are.
definitely other ones.
Also, have you seen those things on like TikTok and social media about people saying that Morpheus made their skin worse after their treatments with those before and after pictures? Have you seen that? Are you not on that side of TikTok? Do you have a TikTok, Dr. Adam?
I don't use TikTok a lot. I'm sure there are, there are, people who've said that. Just like any other treatment with Morpheus 8,
it's not necessarily the treatment for everybody. You have to make sure, you know, you're choosing the right treatment.
Yes.
You have to make sure you're doing it with the correct person who's gonna
Understand settings.
exactly understand settings, understand your skin profile, and kind of do it based on your skin. I do think the Morpheus 8 can be a little bit, you know, the downtime can in the pain can be a little bit more than
Intense.
some of the other machines, which is why sometimes I prefer some of the other machines. You know, again, not that Morpheus 8 itself is bad. But yeah, I can definitely see some people, you know,
Yeah.
but that's you can see that happen with any treatment.
It really comes down to, I guess you're right, the person that's doing the treatment
Exactly.
ultimately.
Even some of my favorite treatments, you know, like simple things like Botox and fillers, if they're done wrong,
You're
they
going to have a
they
bad
can
result.
exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And you have to be the right candidate, which is kind of like, I mean, a big way of saying just because something is trending, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a treatment you need to do, because you
Yeah.
might not be suitable for that treatment.
You know what's another treatment that I think was trending for a while? It's not gone yet, so it's still
Here and there.
Yes. Can
What?
you guess?
No.
Threads.
Oh.
I said PDO threads.
Threads. Wait, smooth, barbed, or both?
Both for sure. I think a lot more people are familiar with barbed threads than
the
smooth
smooth.
threads. Both
I like the
are
smooth thread.
treatments that can help, you know, with the skin and with the collagen production.
No, you're definitely right about the threads, but I feel like that happens every so often with threads. Like it will go away and then it comes back.
Yeah.
And then it will go away and then like that one's like the one that keeps repeating the cycle. I feel
And
like.
even now, threads are not gone. Like I
No.
wouldn't say they're gone. And threads can be, again, just like with a lot of other treatments, threads can be a good treatment for some people.
Mm-hmm.
I do think there are alternatives now, which is why they're not as popular because again, there's a little bit of downtime.
For sure.
There are
I
some
feel like our
potential
endo
complications.
lift would be like a good alternative for someone that's
Yeah.
trying to do a lifting thread.
And I would say now that, you know, there are treatments like endolifts on the market, the people who are doing threads or threads are not as popular because there are some other alternatives, you know, that might have some advantages.
Yeah, of course. I mean, with
over
everything, right? We evolve and we get better
Yeah.
treatments, and that's kind of why that happens.
Yeah. But no, threads for sure. Plasma pen. I would say between the treatments that we've talked about, plasma pen, well, that and buccal fat are the two
The
that are
buccal
not as
fat,
popular.
I feel like no one
anymore.
asks for that anymore. Like everyone absolutely is not doing buccal fat removal anymore.
Plasma pen is also
Thank
not
you.
popular at all.
I'm so happy I
anymore.
did not do that. That was going to be
Yeah, I'm glad you
such
didn't
an
do it.
issue for me
Yeah.
later on. Yeah, and let's see, one more to just round it off. I think the last thing that was pretty popular for a while was that Barbie Talks. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't
Botox
feel
and
like
traps.
anyone is asking me to do that anymore. But for a little while there, everyone was calling and asking, do you guys offer the Barbie Talks?
Yeah, I definitely, you know, we still do Botox traps, but definitely
Yeah.
now it seems like it's the people who are asking for it is more the kind of medical reason because you can
Tension.
do Botox in the traps for tension,
Yes.
and that hasn't really gone.
I actually should do that soon.
But there was a period of time where Barbie Talks became popular, where people were doing it in that area, but specifically to thin, kind of the
to give themselves like
appearance
a
in that
slender
area.
appearance from the back,
Yeah.
which I don't really know if it
Yeah, it's-
slimmed them out at all. I mean, definitely relieves tension for sure. I know that one.
Yeah, I think, you know, probably helped a little bit, but not to the extent that a lot of people
Were
were
hoping.
or,
Yeah.
expecting. But yeah, definitely not something that we see, you know, trending anywhere as much as it used to.
It did have its second though, like on Instagram, where people were doing these videos on the
For
Barbie Trap Talks. But
I mean, yeah, there's even an
Social
area
media.
with people who are trying to slim their calves, you know, so they inject it in the lower
Nicole
levels.
wanted me to do that to her.
Yeah.
She
so
one of
that
our
was
medical
trend
assistants
for a while.
wanted to put Botox in her calves to slim them.
Yeah.
We
It
did
was
not. We
very
did not do
trending.
that, by the way. Just in
Yeah.
case you're wondering, that was a no.
It was trending for a short period of time, and again, not something that we hear about or get requested much anymore.
Yep. I think that's about it. But it just goes to show you how powerful social media really is. It
Yeah.
really dictates a lot of the things that we're doing in the office.
And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of other trends that are going to come out and, you know, go away. But that's why it's also good to, you know, always talk to your provider and see if that treatment makes sense. Because as we've talked about with a lot of these treatments, sometimes it's just like social media and...
Yeah, the hype isn't always real.
Exactly. So that's why you have to filter everything and kind of talk to your provider. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment, and join us next week for the next episode.